My grandfather and I went to Kunding National Forest Recreation Area this summer vacation. With dazzling bright sunshine, azure blue seawater, and the dark green mountains, Kunding National Forest Recreation Area is located at the southernmost tip of Taiwan. With the gentle breeze, tall trees, and pleasant scenery, it is one of the most popular resorts of the tropic forest, attracting millions of both domestic and foreign tourists every year. Along with the trail here stands the huge woods of Qidong, the Bischophia javanica. It seemed that we were walking into some ancient forest. It aroused our interest to make further and deeper exploration. Walking along with the trail, we arrived at the tourist center. Grandfather said to me that we should do our homework before exploring this forest. And the tourist center is the best place to finish our homework. We followed the interpreter's introduction to visit the secret tropical forest.
The Kunding National Forest Recreation Area is renowned for its rich landscape of hills and waters, abundant wildlife, natural resources, and warm climate. Situated on Taiwan's southernmost Hengchun Peninsula, Kunding is surrounded by the ocean on 3 sides, which has helped to breed the abundant plant landscape. The influence of east-north monsoons in autumn and winter are not noticeable, since the weather is fine and warm all year round. The growing environment can support both tropical and subtropical species within the park's boundaries. The scenery of wild botanical species is beautiful and colorful. Those trees and plants provide a perfect paradise for the wildlife.
Kunding National Forest Recreation Area is divided into 2 parts. The first recreation area has a combination of vegetation landscape and its artificial facilities, including 10 most famous spots. You can get the best views as you're stepping on the Guanhai Building, so-called sight-watching building. Guanhai Building is located at the very top of this recreation area with a height of 27 meters. The second recreation area also offers 6 landscapes, for example, Yinglong Cave, Jurong Valley, and the Yixian Tian. Kunding National Forest Recreation Area is not only rich in natural resources, but also in famous sites of lodging service around the recreation area, wanting to provide quality service and warm hospitality for tourists. In Flower House, tourists may enjoy various and colorful plants and flowers that are either common or unusually seen all year round. Outside, there are also a beautiful flower bed and a flower nursery. The garden is divided into over 10 different sections according to the characteristics and usages. Meanwhile, you can find all kinds of aquatic insects resting on different aquatic plants.
Welcome to this forest recreation area. This is a very special site not to be missed. Known as a silverleaf, it has unusual buttress-shaped roots that grow above the ground. Roots of banyan trees spread on top of coral reefs. The silverleaf root draws the most attention of tourists and gets its name from the silver color on its back. In a tropical humid environment, the root grows upward in the shape of a plate. This is to provide support of its weight and assimilation of nutrients. The silverleaf also spreads its root wide to absorb nutrients.
That is why these trees developed the unique root system to stand steady on the thin soil and increase the efficiency of assimilation. Walking into the woods with unusual buttress-shaped roots, we saw vines with threatening poses, rocks and rough and strange shapes. We felt like we were in a fantastic scene from Alice in Wonderland. It seemed that we had much more fun from today's exploration.
The interesting rocks on the side of the road are coral reefs. Corals are coelenterics and live under the sea. The coral reefs were, thousands of years ago, under the sea and uplifted to become a limestone platform by the squeezing effect of the earth. The spectacular scenery is certainly eye-catching. Moreover, there are some cleavages among the uplifted reefs, which allow thin streams of sunlight to shine through. It seems as if the sky is merely as wide as a cotton thread when you're walking through the reefs.
The topographic features of Coral Reef Plain reveals the 1,000 years of life experience of Kunding. Followed by the paces of the narrators, we discover the mystic garden of Kunding, the deep and remote fairy cave, a 127-meter-long cave of stalactites and stalagmites. It is the longest limestone cave found in Taiwan. Along with the stairs, we are going to find wonders and the unknowns of nature.
We are in the fairy cave now. There are lots of beautiful and unique stones called stalactite in this cave. The main component of the coral reef limestone is calcium carbonate. These are easily combined with carbonic acid rain to become carbonic acid hydrogen calcium solution. The solution flows into the underground rock stratum and seeps out from the limestone caves. Due to the suddenly enlarged space and decreased pressure, the solution is overly saturated, which makes the calcium carbonate settle down once again and pile up downward from the cave top. Throughout time, many types of stones are formed, such as bamboo shoots, stone pillars, and stone vines. It takes a very long time to accumulate enough calcium carbonate to form one piece of stalactite. It takes 30 years to form only 1 centimeter.
Some stalactites drip down to the ground surface like rapid waterfalls. Some are just like flowers. And some are like the dragons with white scales and shells, as you read in the fairy tale books. Within the spectacular topography described above, the limestone appears in grotesque shapes, and Kunding National Forest Recreation Area is gifted with wonders and treasures of nature.
There are many natural lime caves, such as the Fairy Cave, Silver Dragon Cave, and Stone Treasures Cave hidden in this area. As we walked in, we saw flying bats, spiders, and some amphibious animals. So, as you can see, in all kinds of environments, various life forms can exist.
Dazzling sunshine sprays on us again as we walk out of this coral reef cave. We seem to have a journey in another world in quite a short time. All of a sudden, I saw many butterflies. The wings were so colorful and resplendent under the sunlight.
Look at those butterflies on the Lea genensis. The butterflies are attracted to the obviously vivid color of this tree. In a tropical forest, plants attract insects with their beautiful and colorful flowers.
One of the most famous plants in Kunding is the Barringtonia asiatica, also known as the Kunding flower, which is one of the endangered plants in Taiwan. They grow at the seacoast of South Taiwan, with fruit looking like a rice dumpling or the foot of the ancient Chinese chessboard. The most distinguished character from other plants is that the blossomed flowers look like the bright fireworks and only can be observed at night. When the sun comes up, you'll miss all the beauties of pistils and petals. As soon as we stepped on the Guanghai building, there's a full and beautiful view of the very end of South Taiwan, both forests and the ocean, including the Bashi Channel, Pacific Ocean, and Taiwan Channel. Entering the second area from the entrance of Guanhai building, it was surprisingly discovered that the tropical monsoon forest looked just like where Tarzan lived. The interpreter asked us to slow down the pace and pay more attention to every tree and bush with ears and eyes. Then we can tell the magic of nature taking place around us.
Now you can see the Camelina botanica trancula. It is not common in the northern Taiwan, but is frequently seen in the Kunding area. Especially in this tropical forest, you can catch sight of this kind of snail every 10 steps. Apart from the insects, the park is a paradise for birds. For example, there are kinds of resident birds like tree sparrows, Formosan bulbul, and Muller's barbet, which can often be observed for 4 seasons. Every year during fall and winter, large numbers of migratory birds fly in from the north to feed and rest, including typical transit birds such as the brown shrike, the Chinese sparrow hawk, and the gray-faced buzzard hawk.
We arrived at the Chirong Valley. The unique landscape is in harmony with the botanical scenery. The huge roots of white banyan hanging down from the wall are just like the waterfalls inside the secluded valley. This is so-called the marvelous spectacle, and magic woods in the fairy tales.
This place is called Dryand Valley. This valley is quiet and deep with huge ficus benjamina on the wall by the entrance. The aerial roots fall down like pillars, and they are very desolate and dense, a prodigy of nature. You can also see a wired scene where the tree grows downward from the rock. Birds have left their droppings with seeds in the chinks of the rocks after they ate the fruits of the ficus benjamina. Day after day, the ficus benjamina germinated and grew in between the valleys of corals.
Grandfather and I found that it was really odd to see 2 trees embrace each other.
Birds left their droppings on the rocks, and they also left them on the trees directly. That is why we can see that one tree grows upon another. After years of growing, it will be strong enough to wind and strap another to death. We call these tropical plants twining plants.
When we entered Yixiantian, we felt like we were entering a scene from Lord of the Rings, one of Tolkien's novels. The daylight sprayed down on the gorge, which made this place deeper and more mystical. We tried to find a way out carefully, as if we were leading characters in the adventure stories.
There are coral reefs spreading all over the place, and it's common to see this gorge terrain. The movement of the Earth's crust caused the rocks to break in half and to form naturally a thin, narrow passageway by the terrestrial gravity. There are still some creatures living in this gloomy and moist environment.
On our return trip, we passed the last scenic spot called Qiyuan Cliff. Qiyuan Cliff is a catenary cliff and used to have apes resting inside the stone caves. Nowadays, because of many tourists, the apes might appear during early morning and nightfall. Even though I felt a little tired, I really enjoyed many unique scenes of each site along the walking trail and the ecological experience in Kunding National Forest Recreation Area. Mother Nature unfolds magic before my eyes, and life keeps moving in circles in many ways. This must be the so-called nature wisdom, as the interpreter said. With this unforgettable memory, I'm looking forward to my next trip to the forest.